Good morning, everyone. Hope everyone had good breakfast. Yep. All right. Okay. All right. So let me start from a question. Have you guys seen project failing because of highly sophisticated model? Have you guys seen a project failing because of model? In my experience, I have seen project failing, AI projects failing not because of model, but it is because of wrong problem framing. And that is the topic for me today, problem framing in the AI world. Why this problem framing is so critical in the AI world right now. I'm Smriti, a product manager in Dell with 1.5 decades of experience, majorly in data and analytics and MLOps. Sorry. Oh, yeah. Okay. Sorry, I was clicking wrong button. Okay. Let me start with a story. Few years back, a giant tech company has decided to automate a job screening process, which has a lot of manual effort. They decided to automate it. Idea was great, and model was created. It was giving really great output. After a few weeks, a shocking observation has been done. And by the way, the model was trained using 10 years hiring data. What was the shocking observation? So basically, model was penalizing those resumes which was wherever it was mentioned as women. Women engineering college, women chess competition, gender as women, it was scoring down. What was the reason? Any guesses? Because data was 10 years back, and most of the tech companies, experienced professional, last 10 years, if you will see, majority were men. And that is what model got trained with. So was this a problem of model, or was this a problem of problem framing? Let's find it out. And that's the reason we say in the AI world, biggest failure don't happen in the model. They happen because of problem framing. And that is what I remember Arun was talking about, problem framing, and which is really critical in this AI world. In traditional world or traditional way of methodologies which we used to work, the mistake used to scale slowly. But in AI world, it amplifies. If you are giving wrong problem, it will amplify the wrong solution. If the problem is framed incorrectly, the model trains wrong objective. Automation amplifies 10 times the mistake, and the business impact will be huge. And this will be cost for your organization, for your company, which will be a loss just because of wrong problem definition. So what should we do here? Let's talk about this pyramid, which I generally take a look whenever I am working on any product. I ensure that all these pyramid, all these steps are being followed. But always remember this. You need to start from top down instead of bottoms up. Start with business outcome. What is the business outcome that your business or your organization is targeting for? Is that they want to improve revenue or do they want to reduce cost? Identify your business and then understand their outcome, their objective that they are targeting for. What is the decision they will make? What is the decision they will make out of this outcome? If you are targeting for any, suppose you are targeting for customer engagement, to increase your customer engagement, what is the decision? The decision for an organization is how to identify those customers who are going to retain, who are going to continue with you. That will be the decision. And what will be the action, which is called as behavior change? What are the action your organization or business will take? So if you want to identify those customers who are gonna win, your seller can identify those customers and can target to only those customers and reach out to them instead of distracted with lot of customers. They can target to them and do focused selling. And then comes fourth and fifth, which is called model prediction and data. Generally, it's a general tendency in most of the organization. We have data, we have good amount of data. Most of the organization has good amount of data. Okay, we have data, let's go and build model, and then let's find where is the problem. Is that approach is right? Somebody was talking, I think Ramesh, 95% of products are failing. AI products are failing. Why it's happening? Because instead of looking into what is the target problem we are trying to solve, we are just getting into technology, we are jumping into the solution instead of looking for what is the problem you want to tackle, and then get into model and get into the solution. So always remember these 5 steps. It will be really helpful whenever you are framing your problem. So this is you can remember this particular model, which is again called as DISCOVER. It's a framework, which is D means define business outcome, I means identify decision, S is specify your user, O is outline the data. What data you have? Is the data is biased data, or do you have all the type of data? If the data is biased, you will have to create the synthetic data, which can help you to have unbiased outcome. Also, if the data has explainability for it, if you are creating model and if you are giving prediction for any customer or any type of accounts, you need to tell what is the explainability about it, why this particular prediction or why this particular customer is winning, and what is the explanation behind it. E is establish metrics. Always remember, you need to ensure and understand what is your success metrics. And never go for success metrics as an accuracy of model. That is also a very wrong approach. Generally, most of the business or most of the, especially technical teams, start with the accuracy. We should not focus for accuracy. Establishing metrics means what is the business outcome. Example, 5 to 10% of revenue growth is my success metrics. If you have created model and it is giving that outcome, that is a success for your model, not the accuracy or not the data. Finally, review the alternatives. Before getting into solution, ensure that you are also identifying what are the alternatives. Generally, what we do is, because AI is a buzzword, let's get into AI. No, that's a wrong approach, because AI is costly as well. Sometimes your solution can be provided by rules engine as well, which will be much much cheaper than having AI models. So one thing that if you want to take from my session, always remember Discover framework. Before this, I would like to give a couple of industry examples, like Netflix. Did Netflix went and said, okay, let's create AI model? Or did they identified the problem of your users? They understood there is a decision fatigue for users. Users are not able to identify and take the decision which movie to watch for, and they were having less user engagement. So what did they do? They identified the problem. That means first, business outcome. Business outcome was to increase user engagement. Second, what is the decision they are going to take? Users can take decision by giving more relatable movies approach. They were able to take decision what type of movies they can watch. So if you take example of Netflix, sometimes Netflix can tell you better things what your family members might not be able to tell. And sometimes Netflix can tell you what you had watched 10 years back, which you want everyone else to forget it. So yeah, that's the power of data. One more example, which I'll go back to the previous slide just to keep it relatable. So one more example is on enterprise level projects which I had worked on, which is more of to identify anomaly detection. I think somebody was talking about anomaly detection as well. So in our organization, we have devices which are prone to fail, prone to have defects. Identifying such type of defects will be helpful for our organization to be proactive instead of being reactive. Because majorly, if you see, many companies, many teams identify their problem when their customer come running angrily saying that this device is not working. Is that a correct approach? Or should we have the model to have a prediction that this particular model might fail in these areas, and what this can help with? If you have the metrics that this model is prone to these things like LCD breaking or power issue, then your customer support will always be having answer ready. Second, your manufacturing team will try to improve the design so that it doesn't happen furthermore. And the third, if there will be issue, because we can't avoid all these defects to be perfectly fine always. So if there are issues, the dispatch and supply chain will be functioning better. So with this model, you can have multiple domains which can streamline better. So that is one of the approach. I wanted to give some example from enterprise level, so which definitely help in enabling the company and different domains. In my organization, I had worked in supply chain, services, and sales. And that's why, like this type of model, when business comes and say, okay, they need a dashboard, we go back and ask them, what type of dashboard you want? Whether the dashboard is really require the prediction, or you need just a rule engine which can trigger an alert, and then customer will be aware of what is going on. So that is what you need to understand, analyze what alternative you need to go for. The next one is related to problem framing prompt. Please ensure, like, you can take photo or you can jot it down, whatever works. But the similar thing, you need to have, when you are putting problem framing prompt, always ensure to have all these metrics into your prompt. It will give you end-to-end problem which can be framed properly. So I'll not take much time on this because I have already touched based on a couple of things. Business objective, decision, what AI or your model will improve. Primary users, understand who are your primary users, who will be utilizing this model. Will that be a seller team or will that be your business point of contact? What are the required prediction? Am I going to create a prediction model, or if I will provide insights with the dashboard, will that help my user? What are the data signals that you want to, what are the different sources of data that you are capturing? Do you want all the domains data or one domain is required? So that you need to understand. Understand the risks and constraints. I already touched based on this. Understand that whether it is biased or you have explainable AI on this. Then what is the success metrics? Already talked about it. So this is what is the prompt. If everyone has already jotted down, I can move to the next one, giving example. Okay, this is one of the prompt which we had used for our product, where we were predicting which particular customer is gonna win, or win means which particular customer gonna converted as a customer for us and which will improve our revenue. That means we were trying to identify which customers or which account we should target to, so that we can get revenue improvement, so that they buy it and we can get revenue, increase in revenue. And that is where we had created a model, which was a classification model, which was telling whether it will gonna win or lose. The users were sellers team and revenue operation, because seller team had to be focused. Once the model was created, seller team was the one who were trying to identify who are the customers whom they can give better offer, and revenue operation team were the one who had to approve the offer, that whether they can go for this much revenue or pricing discount or no. So those were the users. What are the prediction model? It was a probability. We were trying to identify for the next quarter which all accounts are more probable to win. Data was sales data, promotions data, what are the holidays that is coming. Generally, it's a tendency, holiday time we get more sale. So then constraints, we had kept constraint that the accuracy should be lesser, like accuracy error should be lesser than 10%. And the success metrics was we should have 5 to 10% of accuracy win rate. So that was the model which we had created. Now coming to the 3 rules, 3 things which you should remember from my session was, always start with the decision. What decision your business want to take? What is their pain area? What problem they are trying to solve? And do not start from your data. If you have data, so let's create a model. No, that's a wrong approach. Start with the decision, because generally that is what we have seen. 95% of the projects which fail because we create AI models, but it is not being adopted by user, because that is not helping your user to win. Second, always frame risks and constraints that you have early before getting into the solution. And the third point is optimize your outcome and not your model accuracy. So finally, I would like to give an analogy before ending my session. Think about Google Maps. If you are giving wrong destination to a Google Map, Google Map has a good amount of data, awesome world-class data. It has awesome model. It will optimize and give you fastest optimized route of your wrong destination. Same thing is here. Problem framing is your destination. If you are giving AI model wrong problem, it will take you and if it will accelerate that mistake 10 times faster. So always, always remember that. Don't jump into solution. Start with your problem and outcome and then get into solution. Thank you.
All right, so now the floor is open for the question and answer. So anyone wants to go ahead? Yeah.
So on your last slide, where you have given 3 points, first one was start with decision, second was risk, and third was optimize business outcome.
Correct.
So my point is, or question is related to first and the third point. So when we are starting with a decision in mind, what we are going to achieve, how optimizing business outcomes will impact over here? Because we are already having certain parameters defined, certain matrices defined, how we are going to measure each and every outcome, right? And what is our final goal? So business outcomes which are already linked with that decision when we are starting, why this optimization is coming into play?
Optimizing of what?
Business outcomes.
Okay. So business outcome is your objective, right? You want to understand what you want to solve. That means, are you going to increase your revenue or you want to reduce your cost by automating something? And the decision is something like, it's a second step. It's a second step that what decision with that, taking example which I said about, my outcome was 5 to 10% of revenue growth. The decision that my business will be taking for that outcome will be that which type of customer I will be targeting to have that growth. So you need to have those two separately, right? You can't club it together.
No, I agree, but that outcome was considered as a decision in the beginning itself, right?
Correct.
I want to improve my revenue by 10%. That was the decision or the strategy with
Correct.
which I started.
Correct.
Correct? Now, when in the third point, after considering the risk and other parameters, in the third point you are mentioning business outcome to be optimized.
Correct.
So, isn't this contradicting? Because I have, or is it something that as we proceed and I see that, okay, 10% is not achievable, so I have to optimize all the vision and the strategy to whatever is possible, like 8% or 7%, and then split that into future thing?
No, this is underlying thing. Decision is the next step that you need to take. It's not contradicting with, maybe we can discuss offline, but this is not contradicting because this is next step. The overall goal of an organization, think about, is 5 to 10%. Then coming to your business of that, subset of that is your, what type of decision that business will be taking to achieve that goal. That's what is like underlying.
So it will be more like the top level decision which was done, and then you are distributing it, distributing it to different business
teams.
lines or
Yes.
teams to achieve it.
Correct.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, next question.
Hey, Smriti. So in the Discover framework, you mentioned about establish metrics, right? So that is the success metrics?
Yes, that's a success metrics. Like, what is the success metrics you want to achieve as, right? Because whenever you are creating any product, you need to have success metrics so that you can identify that, yes, this is done, definition of done type of thing. So that is where, if success metrics you are mentioning about accuracy of a model, then accuracy can never be done, right? It is like accuracy need to continuously improved. If you are at 90%, it will be like with the data and all, you'll have to keep improving the accuracy. It's not a success metrics. Success metrics will be outcome. When your revenue has been increased, your cost had been reduced, that will be your outcome, which you'll have to regularly, continuously see that and get the ROI out of it.
Yeah.
So that's what it is.
Sure. Yeah, thank you.
One last question.
Can I ask? Yeah. See, problem statement, problem actually, I would say it's a moving target, right? It's not something which is fixed. So your problems keeps moving probably at a rapid speed or maybe at a slower speed, right? Depending on the situation. Now, I want to understand how much time actually you take in defining that problem or framing that problem. Is there any ideal time you propose, or it is like you build your product based on assumptions and then you probably take feedback from the market and then build on top of it? What is your point of view on this?
So my perspective is, if you will directly jump into the solution, and that is what has happened in multiple organizations, and I also have faced that. If you are directly jumping into solution, definitely you will try to stitch back with some of the problem, right? That's a bottoms-up approach. That you have data, you have model, and trying to stitch with the problem. No, that's where the adoption becomes almost negligible, because it's not helping your business. Business will not use these models just for the sake of it. They are using just so that their work get ease. If it is not helping, it will not help. So from the point of view which you mentioned about how much time it takes, so this problem framing is not like one shot that you'll have, so that will be evolutionary, but for certain solution, you'll have to have first a problem solved. So that should not happen that organization or leaders came and said, okay, we'll create AI solution, and you started jumping into the solution. Have the problem, and there's no set time for that. It's generally you understand the customer pain area, you get empathy with the customer. As in when you are working with those customers, you will start getting hint of that what exactly their problem is. And accordingly, you can tackle it.
So, great talk, Smriti. My question is about the same thing, like accuracy and the success matrix. So, when you talk about accuracy, so you said that accuracy comes later, like after when your success metrics are achieved. So, but still, accuracy is a really great metric. So, how much accuracy should we think of? Like, what's the accurate level of accuracy should we think in a model?
There's nothing like how much number you can target for. That is why, again, I'm saying that is like you cannot set the criteria of how much percentage, if model is showing accuracy, it is good to use. No, accuracy is something like general tendency is more than 95% is something that people start with, and then but that is not your success criteria. Your success criteria is when your business will start using the data and then will start coming back with the feedback that this is working out, and these many customers they were able to convert, something like that.
Okay, so like put that into beta first, test on a few set of users,
correct.
And then to production.
Correct. Right.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Welcome. Yeah. I think somebody can pass mic that side.
Hi, Amit this side. So, don't you think accuracy plays an important role? So, let's say consider healthcare as a domain, right? Where let's say you are building a model to identify any disease. So, let's say if the model is 95% accurate, the rest 5% can create havoc considering the amount of patient I have, right? business can lose its credibility as well, right? Because let's say any company you take, AstraZeneca or let's say Siemens Healthineers, right? So if they don't build model which are 99.99% accurate, the trust factor will go for a toss here, right?
Correct.
Because health is something which is built on trust, right? So in that case, what's your take? Like, how we define the success in this case? Like, do we go with 99.99% accurate model, or we think from a different perspective?
No, I think that is the reason I'm mentioning that accuracy cannot be a success criteria anyways. It again depends on your business, your domain. The one which you talked about, healthcare, if you take example of military and war,
Defense.
at that time accuracy should be 100%. So these are the things, again, it all depends on which organization you are applying this, which domain this is applied to. And all these outcomes, that's the reason we need to have the very staged problem which should talk based on your domain. What your business is mentioning, if they are saying 99.9% is the one, we are not going with the accuracy percentage, we are going with the outcome. If all the whatever has been predicted as diseases in a healthcare domain are like targeting, it's able to give the prediction of more than 90% that you are gonna have this type of disease, from my perspective, I will say, yeah, that's a success criteria, but again, you will have to tackle and have it conversation with your business and understand their success criteria, and then have the number. But you need to have number always for a success criteria.
Right, yep.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, so thank you so much, Smriti,
Thank you.
for sharing such a wonderful information about problem framing. And for your contribution to FutureScope 26, we would like to felicitate you with a token of appreciation. So I would request Disha to please come on the stage for the felicitation.
I'll keep it here.
Disha is not there. Okay, I think Disha is not there. So I would request Bridges sir to please come on the stage for the felicitation. Everybody, please give them a round of applause.
Thank you.
Thank you, Smriti. Thank you, sir. All right. So now moving from theory to a hands-on learning, our next session is an interactive workshop focused on designing value through customer journey mapping.
Thank you.
So this workshop will be led by Mr. Venkatram Dunga. He is a product management director at Flexera with over 21 years of experience in enterprise product strategy and AI-led innovation. So please join me in welcoming Venkatram Dunga.